96.7 KCAL rocks. Time to talk some sports, and the sports happened over the weekend. It's why we got our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
It sure happened. And we're going to start with your Seattle Seahawks, Patrick, taking on the LA Rams in the wacky world of the NFC West where anything can happen. And all four teams are separated by one win. It was the Rams going on the road up to the Pacific Northwest and coming away with a 26-20 overtime victory against the Seahawks. I just feel like, man, Seattle could have won that game. But even so, I mean, Seahawks are technically in last place in the NFC West at 4-5, but every team's only like a game out of first. Like, they're so bunched up right now. But I still feel like Seattle should have had that game.
Definitely. Geno Smith absolutely gave that game away. We're lucky we even pushed it to overtime. The Rams are about to beat us in, regulation. And you know what? We can't complain either, because when they beat us in overtime, it was an amazing one-handed catch. I mean, we did not deserve that game. But like you said, since our division's so crappy right now, one of us is going to back into the playoffs.
Right now, as we wake up on this Monday morning, the Arizona Cardinals are leading the NFC West. But I just feel like Seattle had multiple opportunities to do something big against the Rams, and they just could not come up. And maybe it's because the Rams are that good. I don't know. But I just felt like Seattle had opportunities to put the Rams away, or at least grab the lead and hold on to it.
No doubt about it. The defense stopped them a zillion times, and we couldn't capitalize.
Oh, man, it is tough. We were talking about off the air. Our favorite team's giving us gray hairs, man. Like, this is, it's hard. It's hard being a fan, and when your team is so up and down, and, some weeks they look like, hey, they might be a serious contender, and other weeks you're like, we're done. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. All right, so in the wacky world of the NFC West, yes, the Cardinals are your first place team. They picked up another win over the weekend, but I did want to talk about the Chargers because, hey, we knew this, Patrick. We saw the writing on the wall with the Lightning Bolts with Jim Harbaugh taking over, that he was going to bring that old school Michigan Big Ten mentality of playing defense and running the football. Right now, at least going into their game against the Cleveland Browns, the Chargers were allowing an NFL best just 13 points per game, man. Their defense was locking it down. Well, against the Browns and Jameis Winston now playing quarterback for Cleveland, they won 27-10. They held the Browns to 10 points. They had 3 interceptions in the game. They had 6 sacks. This is a brand new Chargers team, and I almost feel like they were built to take on a Kansas City team that is, tough to defend, because their offense is so, it's so creative. Right? It's so articulate. Like, Andy Reid does some really cool things, but the Chargers are built on defense, and they showed it again. They're leading the NFL in points per game allowed. So, and it was a huge win against the Browns.
And they are improving week to week. They're getting better and better as the season goes on. You're right. That defense is coming together like nobody's business. JK all day. We've been saying all, year long, they're running the football. And then now he's got Justin Herbert, even with 0 receivers, basically, starting to be really efficient. So I think you're right. These Chargers could be real dangerous. I think the Chiefs need to start watching their back for sure. It could end up being, an AFC Championship game. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could be the offensive, the best offensive team in Kansas City against the best defensive team in the Chargers. And what's ironic, I think people maybe forget this, that, Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback, right? Like, he was a quarterback, and he scored a lot of points at Michigan, and of course his NFL career with the Bears and the Colts. And with Justin Herbert, obviously in his prime right now, you thought, okay, well, the Chargers are going to bring in an offensive mind, right? To really help Justin Herbert along or make him the best that he can absolutely be. And he's still really, really good, but it's just ironic. They brought in a former quarterback, and now they're going to the run game and the defense just pound the life out of the opponent.
It just seems like he understands that, a good run game and a great defense can really help a quarterback out. And then when you need him to make throws in the playoffs, when you can run the ball and your defense is tough, then it's like he can open it up.
Yeah.
I see what he's doing here, man. And it is maybe just the Michigan in him. Run the ball, good defense, be efficient. You'd think he'd want to sling it all over the place like you're saying, but I think he kind of sees, you help out the defense with that running game, and it's working, man.
Well, all the football nerds out there, including myself, would be, well, actually, it's all
Yes.
cyclical, right? You got to
Yes.
be able to run the football if you want to throw the football, and vice versa. So, yeah, I mean, if you've got a strong run game, you've got to defend the run, and if you're going to defend the run, then you're going to throw the ball, and
Right.
so I get it. So, but yeah, it's just funny how this is a former quarterback, turning, the Chargers in sunny Southern California into a Midwest Big Ten, vibe out here.
You're seeing it come together.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Chargers are looking really good. Speaking of the Chiefs, they got Tampa Bay tonight. Chiefs are still undefeated. That's a tough game, though. Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield, that's a tough out for Kansas City.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. You think eventually Kansas City's going to drop one here.
Yeah.
When will it happen?
Yeah.
I would think for them, they probably want to do it sometime soon because I think we learned from the Patriots with that perfect season. It starts becoming, you don't want to save that clunker for the end of the season.
No, yeah, and that kind of weighs on you, right? It's hanging over you all season long. So not that you go out. Of course, Herm Edwards famously said, "You play to win the game." But
Yes.
if you're going to lose one, maybe this, here in the beginning of November would not be a bad time to do that. So, big one on Monday Night Football, Chiefs and the Buccaneers. Two other games just real quick in the NFL I want to touch on. The big one was actually the Lions and the Packers, and the Lions going outdoors to nasty Lambeau Field and beating the Packers 24-14. And I love what Dan Campbell said, that the Lions are just built to win. Indoors, outdoors, good weather, bad weather, he doesn't care. They're just built to win.
Right. That was kind of the talk. And you heard Jared Goff talk. We're supposed to be the dome team. We're not supposed to be able to handle the elements, but they are just tough, just like their head coach.
Yeah, and as a 49er fan, you're a Seahawk fan. I know a lot of Ram fans are listening. Dude, Detroit looks like the team to beat in the NFC. I think the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through Detroit, and they're young, too. I mean, they're still pretty young across the board. I think they're going to be a problem for years to come. But, yeah, for them to go outside on the road in Green Bay, I think it was the third year in a row they've won in Green Bay. Yeah, this is not your old school Lions team. This is a brand new Lions team with a brand new outlook with Dan Campbell, man. I like what they're doing. It's just kind of scary to think of them playing my team in the playoffs again if they met this year.
Who would have thunk it, dude? But it's coming together in Detroit.
Yeah, what year is this? I think they hadn't started 7-1 since like 1956 or something like that. It's been a long time. And the other one was America's team, man. The Dallas Cowboys are just falling apart at the seams. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are actually having a really good season. We don't talk enough about them with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Our guy Tyler Algier, the pride of Kaiser High School in Fontana, he punched in a touchdown for Atlanta in a 27-21 victory against the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to make some big moves before the trade deadline. Dak Prescott got injured in that game. Zeke Elliott, he was told to stay home. Like there's so many things going on with the Dallas Cowboys, who are the wealthiest franchise in the world, and they still can't get it right.
The internet, the non-Cowboy fans say it's an accident waiting to happen, and it seems like it's happening again.
Cowboys are polarizing, man. There's no way around that. Either you love the Cowboys or you can't stand the Cowboys. And I think for a lot of folks out there to see them just falling apart with the wheels falling off, they're like, yeah, this is what they deserve. So,
yes.
Anyways, big win for Atlanta. Let's talk some college football quickly, Patrick. Tomorrow, actually, we're going to get our first 12-team playoff, like the top 12 ranked teams officially in what would be this new 12-team playoff at the end of the season. And just based on the AP poll, if we did it today, just based on the AP poll, it'll probably be very similar, maybe the same, but very similar. We could have first-round games like Texas against Boise State. We could have Alabama against Penn State. These would be first-round games going into this 12-team playoff.
It's funny how we keep expanding the playoff and we think it's going to solve our problems, but there will always be complaints. Yes, it is better to bitch about the 13th best team than the 5th best team. But however, it does seem like in a lot of occasions, thank goodness they're giving Boise State and these smaller colleges a chance. But it's almost like in some instances, they're throwing out the regular season, which makes it tough.
Yeah. For Boise State, like I think BYU is number 9. I don't think there's really any margin for error. If BYU or Boise State lost a game at the end of the year, they might not be in the top 12. So I think for at least for those schools, there's no margin for error. But like Alabama, Texas, like some of these other schools, even if they lost one more, how do you not have them in there as one of the top 12 best teams?
Right. It's tough. You still need to add. It's funny. We used to make fun of the BCS computer, but it seems like the computer actually figured a few of these things out. It makes you wonder, will AI and a computer figure this out in the future, Pep?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Even for high school football, they use a computer to build these fake mythical rankings and numbers. It's like, what is going on? So
strength of schedule, stuff like that.
Yeah. Tough. What did your opponent do? What did they score at night games on the road? Like what? So.
Injuries, players that were missing. All that's into a algorithm, Pep.
Yes, it's a bunch of scientists in the lab conjuring up some equation that we don't understand. But I don't know. The computers are taking over the world already. Why not just let them do the college football playoff? So and finally, it is college basketball season tonight. It is opening night. Just a quick shout out to our local teams, including the California Baptist women's basketball team. Remember, they went to the NCAA tournament last year. They went to March Madness, winning their conference championship. They open the season tonight at the Oregon Ducks, looking to pull off a big win in Eugene.
So here we go.
Let's go.
Baseball's done with, but now we fire up another sport. Here goes college basketball as we inch our way closer and closer to eventually March Madness. Huh, Pep?
Here we are, man. Before you know it, we'll be talking about Super Bowl and March Madness. So I'm just trying to soak it in, man. I hate at the end of the football season. I get a little sad. So I'm going to try to enjoy these next couple of weeks.
That's right, man. We got the sports fired up. That's why we got our guy Pep. Tell him how to get your stuff.
You can get my stuff anytime at Inland Sports. That's Inland Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We have an Inland Sports YouTube channel as well. So go check it out, please. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.